Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A military engagement. He saw action in Korea. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. The operating part that transmits power to a mechanism. The piano had a very stiff action. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. She actioned the company for discrimination. Put in effect. He actioned the operation. The state of being active. He is out of action. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. The action of natural forces. An act by a government body or supranational organization. Recent federal action undermined the segregationist position. Something done, usually as opposed to something said. There were stories of murders and other unnatural actions. The most important or interesting work or activity in a specific area or field. The action is no longer in technology stocks but in municipal bonds. The series of events that form a plot. His novels always have a lot of action. The trait of being active and energetic and forceful. A man of action. A military engagement. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. A judicial proceeding brought by one party against another. One party prosecutes another for a wrong done or for protection of a right or for prevention of a wrong. The operating part that transmits power to a mechanism. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. Engage in legal proceedings. A natural prolongation or projection from a part of an organism, either animal or plant. A bony process. A writ issued by authority of law. Usually compels the defendant's attendance in a civil suit. Failure to appear results in a default judgment against the defendant. Shape, form, or improve a material. Process iron. Deliver a warrant or summons to someone. He was processed by the sheriff. A sustained phenomenon or one marked by gradual changes through a series of states. Events now in process. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. He was warned that the district attorney would process him. March in a procession. They processed into the dining room. A particular course of action intended to achieve a result. It was a process of trial and error. Psychology. The performance of some composite cognitive activity. An operation that affects mental contents. The process of thinking. A mental process that you are not directly aware of. The process of denial. Subject to a process or treatment, with the aim of readying for some purpose, improving, or remedying a condition. Process cheese. Deal with in a routine way. Process alone. Perform mathematical and logical operations on data, according to programmed instructions in order to obtain the required information. The results of the elections were still being processed when he gave his acceptance speech. French writer whose novels described the sordid side of city life, 1804 to 1857. Institute legal proceedings against. File a suit against. To gain with effort. Put in effect. Pursue to a conclusion or bring to a successful issue. Put in effect. Carry out a task. Put in effect. Bring into safety. Carry out or perform an action. The skater executed a triple pirouette. Kill as a means of socially sanctioned punishment. In some states, criminals are executed. Carry out a process or program, as on a computer or a machine. The computer executed the instruction. Put in effect. Execute the decision of the people. Carry out the legalities of. Execute a will or a deed. Murder in a planned fashion. The mafioso who collaborated with the police was executed. Sign in the presence of witnesses. The president executed the treaty. Fill, satisfy or meet a want or need or conscient or restriction. Meet the requirements or expectations of. Put in effect. Fill, satisfy or meet a want or need or conscient or restriction. Meet the requirements or expectations of. Put in effect. The state of being active. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. An organic process that takes place in the body. Respiratory activity. The state of being active. His sphere of activity. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. The level of activity declines with age. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. Volcanic activity. Any specific behavior. They avoided all recreational activity. Chemistry, the capacity of a substance to take part in a chemical reaction. Catalytic activity. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. Action taken by a group of people. Law, the institution of a sequence of steps by which legal judgments are invoked. Law, the institution of a sequence of steps by which legal judgments are invoked. Law, the institution of a sequence of steps by which legal judgments are invoked. A written account of what transpired at a meeting. The atomic process that occurs during a chemical reaction. He determined unique mechanisms for the photochemical reactions. The technical aspects of doing something. A mechanism of social control. A natural object resembling a machine in structure or function. The mechanism of the ear. Device consisting of a piece of machinery, has moving parts that perform some function. Philosophy, the philosophical theory that all phenomena can be explained in terms of physical or biological causes. Take exception to. She challenged his claims. Raise a formal objection in a court of law. A call to engage in a contest or fight. A demand by a sentry for a password or identification. A demanding or stimulating situation. They reacted irrationally to the challenge of Russian power. A formal objection to the selection of a particular person as a juror. Ask for identification. The illegal immigrant was challenged by the border guard. Issue a challenge to. Fisher challenged Spassky to a match. Questioning a statement and demanding an explanation. His challenge of the assumption that Japan is still our enemy. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. The magnetic effect was greater when the rod was lengthwise. Of a law, having legal validity. The law is still in effect. Produce. The central meaning or theme of a speech or literary work. An outward appearance. She retained that bold effect in her reproductions of the original painting. Act so as to bring into existence. Effect a change. An impression, especially one that is artificial or contrived. He just did it for effect. A symptom caused by an illness or a drug. The effects of sleep loss. Without qualification. Used informally as, often pejorative, intensifiers. A complete coward. Perfect and complete in every respect, having all necessary qualities. A complete gentleman. Having come or been brought to a conclusion. The harvesting was complete. Highly skilled. A complete musician. Write all the required information onto a form. Complete a pass. Come or bring to a finish or an end. She completed the requirements for her master's degree. Complete or carry out. Bring to a whole, with all the necessary parts or elements. A child would complete the family. Having every necessary or normal part or component or step. A complete meal. Produce. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Produce. The scientists set up a shock wave. Arrange the outcome of by means of deceit. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Put into a proper or systematic order. Equip with sails or masts. Take or catch as if in a snare or trap. I was set up. Set up for use. Erect and fasten. Arrange thoughts, ideas, temporal events. Set up one's life. Place. Construct, build, or erect. Create by putting components or members together. They set up a committee. Set up or found. She set up a literacy program. Begin, or enable someone else to begin, a venture by providing the means, logistics, etc. Set up an election. A decorative texture or appearance of a surface, or the substance that gives it that appearance. The boat had a metallic finish. Event whose occurrence ends something. When these final episodes are broadcast, it will be the finish of the show. Finish eating all the food on one's plate or on the table. Finally, be or do something. The temporal end, the concluding time. The market was up at the finish. A highly developed state of perfection, having a flawless or impeccable quality. Almost an inspiration which gives to all work that finish which is almost art. Have an end, in a temporal, spatial, or quantitative sense, either spatial or metaphorical. The act of finishing. His best finish in a major tournament was third. Come or bring to a finish or an end. He finished the dishes. The place designated as the end, as of a race or journey. A crowd assembled at the finish. Cause to finish a relationship with somebody. That finished me with Mary. Designated event that concludes a contest, especially a race. Excitement grew as the finish neared. Provide with a finish. The carpenter finished the table beautifully. The downfall of someone, as of persons on one side of a conflict. Booze will be the finish of him. Wine tasting. The taste of a wine on the back of the tongue, as it is swallowed. The wine has a nutty flavor and a pleasant finish. Indicate through a symbol, formula, etc. The territory occupied by a nation. A politically organized body of people under a single government. The state has elected a new president. Chemistry. The three traditional states of matter are solids, fixed shape and volume, and liquids, fixed volume and shaped by the container, and gases, filling the container. The solid state of water is called ice. The territory occupied by one of the constituent administrative districts of a nation. His state is in the deep south. Put before. The federal department in the United States that sets and maintains foreign policies. Express in words. State your opinion. A state of depression or agitation. He was in such a state you just couldn't reason with him. The group of people comprising the government of a sovereign state. The state has lowered its income tax. The way something is with respect to its main attributes. The current state of knowledge. A sustained phenomenon or one marked by gradual changes through a series of states.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.